Hey guys, this is the video lesson for 1.1 Day 2, Least Common Multiple. So you should be watching this if you were absent, or if you just want to go back and review or you need extra help, you can come back and watch this. But please follow all directions I give during the video. All right, let's get started. So first off, today we're focusing on least common multiple. Yesterday, we did greatest common factor, so if you were absent, you should have watched that video. So today we're going to start with least common multiple. So let's read this part right here. It says the least number that is a multiple of 2 or more whole numbers is the least common multiple. Now I don't know about you, but I don't really understand what that means because they use complicated language. So let's zoom in here and we're going to take some notes in this graphic organizer. First, you got to know what LCM stands for, and it stands for the least common multiple. Now don't forget, you can pause this video at any time if you need time to think or if you need time to write stuff down, and you can rewind to hear something again. So let's go through and define each of those words. First off, let's start down here with multiple. Multiples, I call them counting by numbers. Okay, so for example, multiples of 2 are counting by 2 numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. They are multiples of 2. So counting by numbers are multiples. Now, least means the smallest. And common, as we talked about yesterday, means the same. So if you have 2 numbers, the least common multiple would be the smallest counting number that they both have. That's the same for both of them. All right, let's go to we're going to go to the next page, but page 9, because page 8 was greatest common factor. So we're going to go through example 3 and 4, but we're not going to exactly follow the book. For example, this method 1 and example 3, I'm going to cross out, because drawing a number line, that will take you forever. It's a pain in the butt. And in example 4, we are not going to do the factor tree method because that's just going to get you confused with the greatest common factor tree method. So what I'm going to show you is in example 3, to find the LCM, the least common multiple of 2 and 3, we are going to list multiples. So in example 3, we have to find the LCM of 2 and 3. So we're going to list multiples of 2 and 3. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 6, until you find the least one they have in common. So in that case, it would be 6. The LCM is 6. Now in number 4, we're going to find the LCM of 14 and 21. So we're going to list multiples of 14 and 21. And you are allowed to use a calculator for this, by the way. So counting by 14 would be a little bit easier. So I'm going to list some of 14. So 14, 28, 42, 56. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to list some of 21, check in to see if I find one that matches one of the 14 multiples. So 21, next one would be 42, and what do you know? The lowest multiple they have in common is 42, so that's the LCM equals 42. Now, we're going to go down below, and I'm going to have you try some, and some we're going to do together. So, and especially, I think problem G, if I remember, is a little bit trickier. So let's get down there and start. All right, now, in problem E, well, here's what I want you to do. You are going to pause the video. You're going to do problem E on your own, and when you're done, restart and watch the video and watch me go over it to see if you got it right. So, pause the video now and get started. All right, let's see how you did. Okay, so I'm going to list some multiples for 2 and 6. So let's start with 2 and 6. So I'm going to list some for 2. 2, 4, 6, and wait, what do you know? Notice I don't even have to list any of 6 because the first multiple of 6 is 6. So for E, you should have the LCM is 6. All right, if you had it right, good. If not, you fix it and you learn from it. Now for problem F. All right, so here's what I'm going to have you do. First thing I'm going to have you do is you're going to pause the video. You're going to list multiples of 4, 5, and 10 until you find the lowest one that all 3 numbers have. Now when you're done, I'll go over it, and then I'm going to show you kind of a shortcut when you have 3 multiples. All right, so pause the video, do problem F, and then restart it. Go ahead. All right, let's see how you did. So make sure you're done with F before you watch this, because you should try it first. So I'm going to start with 4. I'm going to list some multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. I usually like to do a couple. Now for 5 and 10, I'm going to start with 5, and I'm going to find any that match with 4. So 5, 10 doesn't match, 15 doesn't match. All right, so 20 at least matches 1 for 4. So if we can get 10 to match 20, then that's it. All right, so we have 10, 20, and 20 is the least common multiple of 4, 5, and 10. Okay, so remember I said I would show you kind of a shortcut. And this is honestly, as you get better at this, this is kind of what I do and would recommend. But you have to be pretty good with your times tables. So I usually, it doesn't matter which one you take, but it's a little easier if you take the bigger of the 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to count by 10s until I see if 4 and 5 both go into 10. All right, ready? So I'm going to start with 10. 4 does not go into 10. 5 does, but they both have to go into it. So then I count by 10 some more. The next one is 20. Okay, so 4 does go into 20, and 5 goes into 20. So if you count by one of them and the other 2 numbers both go into it, you found your least common multiple. All right, now let's go down to problem G. I'm going to change this one up a little bit because this one's kind of complicated. So if you're watching this, let me move over here. It says find the least common multiple of 3, 5, and 7. This one goes on forever. Not really forever. It eventually stops, but it's a pain. So let's do this. If you're watching the video now, I want you to change that 3, and let's make it a 10. So I want you to find the least common multiple of 10, 5, and 7. Now you can go back and you could do it like the problem before and list all multiples for all 3. Or you could use my trick that I showed you before. It's up to you. All right, so do G on your own, pause the video. When you're done, I want you to restart it and watch and see if you're right. Go ahead. All right, let's see if you got it. So I'm going to use the trick. So I'm going to list, I usually take the bigger one. It doesn't matter which one you take. And I'm going to list multiples of 10 and check until I find one that 5 and 7 both go into. They both have to go into it. Remember that. All right, so let me get started here. So 10. 5 goes into 10, but 7 does not. 20. 5 goes into 20. 7 does not. 7 times nothing is 20. 30. 5 goes into 30. I notice 5 goes into all multiples of 10, by the way. 7 does not go into 30. 40. 5 goes into 40. 7 does not. 50. 5 goes into 50. 7 does not. 60. 5 goes into 60. 7 does not. And 70. 5 goes into 70, and so does 7, because 7 times 10 is 70, and 5 times 14 is 70. So we found the least one is 70. Now, if you were to list them, you'd go back and you'd be listing counting by 5 numbers, blah, 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 and you'd eventually hit 70. And then you'd be listing counting by 7 numbers, 7, 14, 21, 28, dot, 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 and you'd eventually hit 70. But if you can manage that shortcut, it will save you some time. As long as you get this answer, though, that's what matters. All right, so that's it for today's video lesson. I know if you were absent, you are going to be going on to page 10, and you are going to be working, I believe, on 4, 5, 6, and 7 on your own to make sure you know how to do it. So if you have any questions, please see me and ask me, and I can give you some help. Thanks, guys.